Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Been a pretty busy one here. Finally got up to the shelter today after what it seems like has been over a month between vacation and stuff happening and this and that. We just hadn't been able to get up there. And man, we were getting behind. There's a lot of great animals up there needing homes, but thankfully the shelter was really busy today. So much to the fact it took us longer than normal because we were constantly stopping and talking to people about different animals, or they wanted to see the one we had or whatnot, which is a great thing, but it tends to take a little longer than we hope to get the pictures done, make sure we can get back in time, get everything set up. But we made it, which is great. We did get, I believe it was 10 animals today. And when I had taken my camera on vacation with us, and I had forgotten it, I had left bracketing on. So the first dog that we got had several different kinds of exposures going on. And when I, after we took the photos of the first dog, I went back and looked through them and was like, man, that's bright. And I looked at the next one, I was like, man, that's dark. What's going on? And I was looking at the exposure changes and I was like, what? Oh, bracketing, I forgot to turn it back off. So we may have to do a few corrections to the first one. But other than that, lots of adorable dogs. We didn't get any cats. We don't photograph cats. Maybe that'll change sometime in the future. I'm not sure. But man, there's so many cats. Lots of ferals as well, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because people are actually bringing these ferals in to get them treated and get them spay or neutered and get them back out to where they were. But it's also a bad thing because it's very difficult to maintain the kennels and stuff for those cats because they're scared to death. They'll freak out on you. They have very sharp claws and very sharp teeth, and they're not afraid to use them. So there's also that aspect of it for the kennel staff. But you know, it's good to see that they're coming in and they're getting taken care of. But we're going to go ahead and kick this off. We're going to get started with, of course, creating our stacks for our different dogs. Get my develop module here. Our OBS crashed out there. That's a first. I've never had it do that. I got to restart a couple apps here that also wigged out when it did that. Bear with me here a second. That was not good. And let me reconnect this. It said it already connected. We'll find out, I guess, if it did reconnect. If not, I'm gonna have to reboot chatbot as well. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever had OBS crash like that. I wonder if it's something to do with their new version. I'm not sure. How's it doing on your guys' end? Is everything looking okay? I guess I could go check it as well. Wait. And I'll refresh my dashboard here. Maybe. Make sure my internet didn't flake out. I don't know if Twitch just went to crap. No, it still seems to be going out. Yeah, it looks like the Twitch dashboard just flaked out. Totally. Hi, Vixie. Yeah, OBS just totally crapped out and the Twitch dashboard went dead. I don't know what that was all about. Hey, Godly, good to see you. Just trying to make sure everything's back up and running all right. It looks like it's okay. The dashboard's now running again. Good. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run with that. Looks like looks like everything's back up for the moment. No. Yeah, it looks like my whole computer just flaked out. Yeah, now Lightroom is misbehaving. Oh, the woes of streaming. Let me pull that back up. Didn't refresh. I'm gonna relaunch Lightroom. Skip it this time. It might have been a graphics driver issue, since it affected so many things. Very possible. See if it loads. Yeah, maybe. Perhaps. It half loaded. Yeah. Give it just a second. Alright, I think we're back in business. Yeah, it could have been a graphics card issue. I haven't checked in a few days if there's any graphic card updates, but man, that was no fun. Sorry about that. So yeah, back to where we were when that all wiped out. We were taking Cassie's photos. Well, actually, we're going to take all the dogs' photos and we'll put them into stacks just so they're easier to manage. Stacking, group is stacked. And I always mention this. Some of the menus will go off this, what you see off the screen, because I'm only capturing a small part of my monitor because this monitor is so darn big. And it's also not the right aspect ratio. But this is my color calibrated monitor for photo editing. And so yeah, a lot of great dogs up there today. There's 3 different main kennels at the shelter, and I had probably about 16 or 17 dogs in just 2 of the kennels that I had selected to photograph today, and we got 10 of those. They were either like they had an offsite event today, so some of the dogs weren't there, or there were so many people at the shelter today. Some of them were out with meet and greets and things like that, which is fantastic. Love seeing that. And you know, we got stopped a lot with dogs. We had even people wanting to see them and know about them, and it's a great feeling to that people and that place can be so busy, because the county doesn't do lots of marketing or anything like that. So it's great to see that the people are out supporting their local shelters and not going out to the breeders. And I've mentioned before, I have nothing against good breeders, but I absolutely despise breeders that do it for the money. They don't care about the breed. They don't care about the health or the well-being of the animal. They don't keep up with the animals that they do adopt out. You'll know a good breeder, and if you want a purebred from a breeder, that's great. Do your research. Make sure it is a good breeder and that they look after their dogs. I mean, a good breeder you'll have to go out there, you'll have to introduce yourself. They'll probably come to your home, want to inspect it. They'll want updates on the animal for the life of that animal. They're pretty particular about their dogs. So something to kind of keep a lookout for if you do decide to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and get our settings in here. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm gonna have to get back in the rhythm. We need to set this to our Tamron 7200. And we need to set our aspect ratio, of course, to the 1:1 for the app that the shelter uses. Which is understandable. I'm having to work with one right now because I'm looking for a service dog trainee. That's awesome. Well, there's there's companies that pull service animals from shelters as well to train them. So don't rule out a local shelter for the same type of animal. They don't have to be a purebred to be a great service animal. In some cases, a better service animal. And a lot of purebreds end up at shelters. They're generally just not listed as such because the shelters don't DNA test because that costs money, and shelters operate on shoestring budget as it is. Some of them might even be purebred. So, something to think about. That's awful bright. Still a little bright, but that's alright. Okay, we did lens correction with that. We're going to copy that development settings. The music seems a little bit loud to me. I had it up for our gaming session's been kind of loud, so lens correction, we're going to do the crop on that. We're not going to do the straighten angle, just the aspect ratio. Copy that. Alright, face shot, body shot, and some kind of personality or creative shot that we like. And as I mentioned before, when I photographed this first dog, I had bracketing on my camera from when we went on vacation, and I didn't even notice it. It's 3 little letters inside of the viewfinder, and I just didn't notice it. So you see like this is really bright, and this one's dark. Yeah, it was the camera was flipping through 3 different exposures, so every 3 shots was a different exposure. So we'll have to correct those. That one, however, is going to be completely unusable, so we're going to get rid of that right now. Let's see, face shot. Wow, and yeah, as always, these dogs are always very anxious. That's a beautiful shot. I love that. So them being still long enough, and because I don't really like to run over 100 ISO in the daylight, I have to run a little bit slower with shutter speed, which is usually around 125-ish. This one I actually ran at 200. With that slow of a shutter speed, you're more prone to movement. Now, you can bump up the ISO and turn up the shutter speed so you can catch more of that action. But it's generally not a huge problem. We just get a little bit here and there. I mean, that one's really sharp. I don't like how that eye's closed a little bit, but that one's probably going to end up being our face shot. Sometimes you just sit there with a dog long enough, you finally say, "Uncle, I'll take what I've got and I'll make it work." Because they just, there's so much going on around the shelter. Other people walking by, dogs walking by, doors shutting, people talking. And so these dogs are here and here and here and here and here. And it can be a challenge, to say the least. And there's a bark, apparently, which is not going to be usable. A body shot. That will probably be our body shot. And that may be our personality shot if I can get these different exposures to kind of jive here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste these settings on here. Go ahead and auto that for a starting point. It's not bad. It's a little bit dark. Actually, I think it's the shadows that are a little bit dark. So we're going to pull those up just a little. And crop that down, because this is going to be our face shot. And not the greatest look for sure, but we just don't really have, that one's so blurry that one's not usable either. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that as a face shot, but that's what we got, so that's what we're going to use. And a body shot. Grace. Now we do have Jackson. And Gracie's in here too. She's sitting at the door. She insisted on coming in here with Jackson. Which I haven't introduced you guys to the newest foster yet. She's currently in her kennel. We've had her now for about a week. She is another Great Dane. Right now she's about a little over 120 pounds. And as with Jackson, when we got him, you could see her ribs hanging out, her hip bones hanging out, and not very well trained. She's okay behaved. She's a little shy. She's very submissive around guys, so I think she might have had bad experience with a male figure. I don't know, if that was her previous owners or whatever. Or if she was loose and got chased around. I'm not sure. Oh, there goes the camera. Just a second. Did that scare you? Hmm? Did that scare you? Yeah, most of this stuff is kind of shoestringed here because I intended on redoing this studio a bit. and you're blocking the camera. And so a lot of it's kind of just like that camera is just basically sitting on my desk. It's a Logitech C920, so it's pretty durable, thankfully. I got a GoPro Black for the vacation, and I discussed before I was thinking about using that as my webcam because right now I'm still using my DSLR. And I went to set that up the other day, and that way I don't have to tear down all the time when I go to take pictures. But the HDMI I use off the DSLR there's I guess 3 different size HDMI. There's your large normal HDMIs that we're all familiar with off electronics equipment. There's a mid-size HDMI, which is like what my camera uses, which is maybe a 1/2 inch wide, maybe not quite. And then there's a mini HDMI, which is tiny. Well, the cord that I have doesn't. The GoPro has a mini, and this camera doesn't. So I'm gonna have to get an adapter for that. But that's a better option, so I don't have to constantly tear down. But anyway, so so we named her Rain, Rayne, and she's fairly well behaved. She doesn't, she's still nervous and she paces a lot and kind of gets overbearing sometimes by putting her whole body into you and things like that. But she's getting there. She'll come around. It took Jackson a couple months before he would come around. But the purpose in another Great Dane, even fostering another Dane, is we wanted a playmate for Jackson because Gracie will play with him a little bit, not like he wants to play. And Cage, our German Shepherd Lab mix, he's the kind of dominant male of the household. He doesn't like him playing, so he's the fun killer whenever they go to play. So we had hoped to find someone more Jackson size and he could play with the way he wanted. So far, the new foster, Rain, and Gracie don't get along real well. I mean, they're okay, but they can have their moments, their little girly spats. And Jackson doesn't know what to think of her, doesn't want a lot to do with her. So I'm hoping that changes. If that changes, and Jackson will start playing with her and Gracie will warm up to her, then we'll adopt her. If not, then we'll get her back up in good health and good shape, and we'll find her a great home that more fits what she needs. And then we'll continue looking. So, kind of a win-win, I think. So that's the story on her. So you'll probably see her, I don't know, the next few weeks. I hope she'll warm up a little bit more where she'll be able to come out and hang out with everybody and me not have to constantly keep an eye on her. But she's a great big fawn. I do have some like phone shots of her. And actually, I may have them on my desktop now that I think about it. Somewhere. And I may have to find that a different way because they're apparently not right there. Desktop. Let's see. And she's every bit as big as Jackson. If not a little bigger, believe it or not, which is very rare for a female. I'm not seeing them. Could have swore I put them on my desktop. Well, yep, there we go. Open with. We'll just open with the photo viewer. Not full screen, or you guys won't be able to see it. So this was her at the shelter. And I know it's not super huge. You might have to full screen it for a minute. I've only got 2 pictures. This was her in her kennel at the shelter. They only have 2 what they call Sally ports, which are like temporary holding places for dogs. And she's so big, she won't fit in a regular kennel. So they had to keep her in a Sally port, which is another reason they said, hey, you interested in fostering another Great Dane? So we, of course, took that on. So that's her there, and then her on the ride home. I got this same shot of Jackson. I'd have to dig it up. The first day we brought Jackson home, of him in the car. Photos. And this is, it's crooked. It was an over-the-shoulder phone click, because I was thinking I was coming home. I was like, it'd be really cool, because I got the same kind of shot of Jackson to get a shot of her as well on her first car ride home. So this is her coming from the shelter to the house. And she was pretty scared. And you can't really see here, but man, is she thin. She was 115 pounds. We took her when we took her from the shelter a little over a week ago, and we took her up Thursday to get her spay, and she was 120. So she's getting there. She's putting the weight on. I did re-weigh Jackson, and he is 128. I got him weighed the other day because I like to keep up with where their weight is, so I know if I need to adjust their food. Especially with dogs like Great Danes or the large breeds, you want to watch their weight because they're very prone to hip dysplasia and things like that. So you don't want them being overweight. And I watch my dog's diet pretty closely anyway. It's not too technical, and just watch their calorie intake and their exercise. But yeah, we'll get some weight on her before too long. Wow, that did a terrible job with that. Let's do it this way. We are going to. Here we go. Just crank that up. I still don't like that shot. Actually, I didn't mark that either. I need to mark that. And we will mark this one. It's got a little heavy on the orange. Pull that down a little bit. That looks pretty good as a body shot. And of course, we'll go in afterwards and we'll remove the leashes. So we got a head shot, body shot. That's pretty cute. And that's pretty sharp too. Let's see what we can do with that. Develop settings, paste settings. And we'll pull, let's see what we can do here. That's better. Not bad. I'm still not a fan of that shot. And I do know that when we're going from Lightroom and we're clicking around different photos, the stream can hiccup a little bit. So I apologize for that. But this whole, I'm working with raw files, which each picture is about 55 megs. So it can take a bit of horsepower to pull all these into memory and get them into editing mode for Lightroom. So it can hiccup a little there. I'll mark that, and that'll do it for Cassie. And then we have Bubbles. And that is really bright. And this goes from half indoor, outdoor, back and forth. And I don't switch all the settings up every time just for a kennel card, because these are for staff reference mostly, or volunteer reference anyway. So some of them can end up a bit bright and obnoxious. But again, I'm not overly concerned with that. It serves its purpose, which is just to give general information about the dog. So Bubbles is a pit bull mix, a female, came in as a stray. She was really sweet. Which you'd be amazed how many people, always say, oh, it's a pit bull, it's a pit bull. Most, if not every, not every, maybe there might have been one or two pit bulls I've ever met are super nice. They're no more not nice than any other breed. Actually, the breed that I've had the most trouble with, aggression-wise, is the littles, the smalls. Little Chihuahuas and Yorkies and Shih Tzus and the little ones. They get the little dog syndrome. They're the ones who've had the most problems with. Okay, lots of shots here. Looking for that face shot. Looks like maybe this one. Yeah, it's just a touch soft, but that's a super heavy crop. I think we'll run with that one. Paste those settings on there. And, if you have any questions along the way about animals or shelters or adopting or fostering or photography or editing or whatever, I'm not a know-it-all, but I will definitely try to help all I can with whatever information I can, or maybe point you in the right direction. Man, that's a whole heavy crop. Super heavy. But that's what we have, so that's what we're gonna use. Body shot, I kind of like this one. Pretty good light. If I got enough room to work with, I may not have enough room to work with when it goes one by one. Yeah, we got enough there. And we'll auto that out. A little bit on the bright side. Pull those whites down a little bit. And it was another peekaboo day. It often is here with the clouds and the sun. Some shots are like, for instance, clouds, sun. So we just gotta go with it. Body shot. Now we need a personality shot or just something that we like. And I'm honestly not seeing a really good mix of anything. I like the light there, but I don't like the posture. These are all clouds. Excuse me. Might be able to use that one. That's a pretty confident pose there. Kind of like that. Paste those settings on there. And we'll pull that down. Red Eye, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. We finally getting back to editing some puppy pictures after, what has it been, a month? It's been a minute. But, man, there were so many dogs, but they were so busy today, which I loved seeing. I'm going to be really curious tomorrow to know how many dogs they adopted out between the offsite event. I might have to sharpen that up. The offsite event and how many people were at the shelter today. Do something with that ugly hose as well. But hopefully a bunch got adopted today. That'd be awesome. See, that was all for Bubbles. Now we got Edith. I'll just paste those on. And straighten these out a little bit. Good enough. So Edith. Edith was a little fur ball. She was really cool. She's a pit bull mix, but she's short and stocky. She's super fun, very strong, but really full of energy, and really adorable too. She could be, like I said, she was a little bit of a handful, but that's mostly being in the shelter and whatnot. I'm sure she could be trained really easily. Planning a vacation. Oh, is that your Florida trip? You going scouting? Such a big head on that girl. But adorable, nonetheless. Yep, that's your Florida. I figured. I hope you find something good. Scouting for places. That's exciting. It's a big change, but it's exciting. So those are our body shot options. This one's in a cloud and this one's in the sun. We didn't clip any of that, so it all should come in. Let's see. Let's find out. Yeah, it all came in pretty nice. A little heavy on the oranges again. Headshot, body shot. So what kind of place you looking for, Red Eye? You guys, are you home shopping or apartment or rentals or getting ready for dinner? That sounds good too. I'm gonna have dinner here shortly. Yeah, we'll be, because of the new schedule format, which you can see below. Well, actually, this particular part you can't. I need to put that in there. But I started the puppy stream at 3, and we'll stream till we're done, which is typically a couple hours, up to maybe 3. Depends on you guys and how much chit-chatting we do. And then after that, I'll go down for about an hour, and then for supper, and then we'll come back up, back in the game. And we'll stream till about 10 or so, till we don't feel like it anymore. And I mentioned this before too, the music you're hearing. This is all my stuff that I've paid royalties on that I can stream, and it's not muted on the VODs, because a lot of people, it seems, watch the VODs of the puppy pictures. So it was important that I played music that wouldn't get muted. That's what you're not seeing the tracks come up on the screen, because the program I used to show those, when it upgraded last time, it stopped supporting Winamp apparently, and I played these through Winamp. So that's why you're not seeing the on-screen stuff, and why the music format's a little different today. Or, I mean, if you guys rather this kind of music versus a lot of music that you know, let me know. If you guys prefer that, then I'll figure something else out for the whole Winamp stuff and this kind of music. Your feedback is definitely useful and welcome. How you doing, buddy? Mom, get up and move. It's almost feeding time for them, so. Face shot, body shot. That's pretty cute. I like this one better. Hey, Impoverished, how's it going, buddy? Hopefully everything's going good for you. Staying busy, I assume, still. Gonna go back to bed, though. Alright, well, you have a good night's sleep, or day's sleep, or whatever your schedule permits you to do. And thank you for dropping in. I appreciate that. What a doll. She was so sweet. Alright. So we have Edith's pictures selected. Now we have Texana, super submissive. Like, couldn't hardly get her out of the kennel because she was just so submissive and not necessarily scared. I mean, there was an element of that, but not as scared as she was just so submissive she didn't know what to do. She wanted to just sit or roll over and show her belly, which many dogs do when they're either scared or don't know what to do. Texana. Open that up. Let's see. Face shot. Looks like we got one right off the bat. Good thing too, because it was very hard. We didn't get too many poses with her because she didn't want to do much. She either wanted to show her belly, like this, which I took a picture of, or just sit. Which that happens, it happens sometimes. And that's like, we don't pressure them to do things they don't want to do. We work with them a lot to try to get them comfortable with what we're trying to do. But sometimes they don't want to. Sometimes they're just too scared or too excited, and we don't force them. So, make sure that they're happy too. We don't want to traumatize them. Pull those shadows in a bit. Pull those whites down. That's not too bad. Okay, and a body shot, which was a trick. This is probably the only one we got. So an apartment, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't rented an apartment in so long. I imagine it's pretty much the same deal. They're all expensive, especially the nice ones. I don't like the fact that that's all shade or cloudy. But that's what we gotta work with, so that's what we're gonna work with. So face shot, body shot. This is like the only one we got with the sun in it, which I really prefer on this one. I mean, sometimes overcast is great, but it just wasn't. The clouds today, and I don't know all the terms for it, but the clouds today were really thick clouds. So it wasn't like rain clouds, but they were so thick and dense that when the light came, not much light came through them. So you didn't get much of a light box effect out of it. Not the one that I like anyway. To really soften it up. So I'm going to try to work with this one. Auto that out. It's really nice. I really like the rim light here. I like the texture. Brighten her eyes up a little bit. Super sharp. She's such beautiful colors as well. Dogs that are multicolored like this in kind of a medium or mid-tone earth tones, the browns, the light or the darker, like the healer look, the exposure on them seems to work better than it does with like dogs that are all white or all black. Those are a little more tricky to really get them to pop, but those colors on her really pop. And that was Texana. And next we have Milton. And he was pretty chill, pretty normal, average dog. You know, no particular bad behaviors. Seemed pretty chill to walk and do whatever, as long as he was outside. So super sweet. And most of them are. I mean, I know I'm a little bit biased, but honestly, they are. They're all really sweet dogs. Face shot. Did we get one? Oh, I remember now. I had a lot of problems getting the face shot out of him. Every time I could get him to look towards the camera, he was doing something like this. With his mouth open. See? Same deal. Showed you that one already. Here. It was actually a little blurry because he was moving his head. Eyes closed. So yeah, we didn't even really get much of a face shot for him. Blurry. Man, is there anything I'm going to be able to use here? It sure doesn't look promising. You have to use a side shot like that as his headshot. Unfortunate. I'm gonna lean back a little bit. Back is getting a little sore leaning up like that. I need a longer boom so that I can actually sit back. Because if I sit back this far, because of the way my mic works, I gotta talk loud and it doesn't sound that great. It sounds much better when I'm up here on it like I'm supposed to be. But to do that, I have to lean forward. So I need to get a longer boom arm. But the one that I need, they're pretty pricey. So maybe someday. Okay, we have to find a face shot out of here. Maybe we'll use that. Not the hugest fan. Like, that's unusable, so I might as well get rid of it. This one, it's nice and clear and sharp, but unfortunately, can't do anything with it. Eyes closed, can't do anything with that. said that might work for body shot, except he's got one ear down, and people wonder if he's missing an ear. They'll ask, believe me. All right, well, let's do this another route. Let's go for the best body shot, which I'm liking this one the best for the body shot. So we'll just kind of work backwards on this one. A little bright. Which is weird. Usually when there's a lot of white, it'll actually make it too dark. Alright, so there's our body shot. Now we need just a shot that we like, which I kind of like this one. Let's see what we can do for that. It's pretty good. And now we need to find a face shot somewhere in here. I still think we're going to have to use this one. Little tip for taking good photos outdoors. And this can, of course, your mileage may vary, but in general, if you want the best lighting when you're outdoors, don't do it at high noon, high sun, if you can. These were around 1 o'clock. It's still a little high in the sky, but that's the time we have to do it. And look at the shadow on the ground that's being cast on your subject, and put yourself in the direction of the shadow. So you're basically shooting into the sun, but you'll get some of the, make sure you expose for your subject, and it'll make the highlight really bright, which is fine, and you'll get the best overall looking photograph in general by using that as a rule of thumb. So just a little tip. Yeah, that's a big headshot, but that's what it is. Body shot. A random shot. It's got a lot of red in it. I don't know why that's got so much red in it. What's this one look like? Well, that one is too, so maybe this one just needs more of it. What was it? Reds? That's oranges. I want that fur to look the same across all the pictures. There we go, that's better. And it's all of Milton's. Now we have Venus. Really scared. He didn't have to be carried. She didn't have to be carried. But it took some coaxing with treats to get her to walk on the leash. Which happens. I mention this a lot. These dogs get into these kennels, and it's so hard. You cannot judge a dog based on their behavior in a shelter. You just can't, because they're totally out of their environment. All they're concerned with is survival instincts at that point. They're doing what they think they need to do to not necessarily survive, but to cope with everything around them. Some dogs do it really well and some dogs don't. It's not feeding time. No, it's not time to eat. Thank you. Thank you for the kisses, but it's not time to eat. Matter of fact, it's still 45 minutes early. Thank you. You can't eat yet. Boy, your breath is rotten. Yeah, you need your teeth cleaned. Yes, you do. Alright. That one's not going to be usable. And a lot of time you snapping the shutter thinking, oh, here's a good shot, and you click it, and that same moment they move. This one's soft, same reason. I took a couple more, hoping to catch them not moving, which that one's not bad. Let's get rid of that one since those two are pretty much the same. Let's free up some disk space as well. There's a good body shot. Yesterday, he was laying back here behind me, and it was just 6 o'clock in the evening or something. That's enough. And he got bored, I guess, and so he started talking to me. And he does it and he'll probably do it here shortly. Right now he wants to go eat, but it's not time to eat, so he'll start. It's not a bark and it's not a growl, it's just a mouthing thing. And we talked back and forth for probably 5 minutes. No, absolutely not. He's doing it because I'm giving him attention now. Tell mom, go tell mom. Go tell. He buried his head down in my lap. Watch your head on the microphone. Blurry. We'll just ignore him for a minute, and he'll probably stop. Probably. It's not a great face shot. That one's not bad. And it's not that great anywhere else, so we'll probably use this for the face shot. And what I look for when I'm looking for these shots is I'm looking for, particularly when I look at face shots, if I couldn't specifically get a shot of their face, I look for a shot where most of the rest of the picture isn't usable and the face is at least decent. Because that seems to be the trickiest shot to get in most cases. Because once the dog hears the shutter or sees the flash, they avoid the camera. They actively avoid it at that point. They won't look over. So it can make it a challenge. And my squeaker I didn't have today because I had taken it out of my camera pack for the vacation. It was sitting on the counter here. I got there and I didn't have it, so that added to the challenge. But it was a nice vacation. I'm not the biggest fan of traveling. I'm very comfortable where I'm at. My wife's always wanted to. We decided to do it, but the getting there and getting back sucked. I hated it, didn't like it. I don't care for the here and back again, ever again. But while we were there, it was absolutely wonderful. It was wonderful. So, will we do it again? I'm not sure. Perhaps. I guess that'll depend on a lot on what the wife wants to do. Body shot, probably go with this one. It's a little soft. Excuse me. But we can sharpen those up a little. In Photoshop, what that's about afterwards. I thought that looked a little off. It's just the way her head's tilting. It's actually going the other way. And I'm afraid straightening it out is just going to make that whole thing worse, and it does. So we're just going to leave the ground line a little crooked there. I don't like to do that, but the dog looks too awkward otherwise. Face shot, body shot. Face shot, body shot. I can do that for personality, sitting. And we'll auto that up. Pretty nice. Eyes are, she's in the middle of a blink, apparently. I'm actually starting to miss some of my studio stuff since I've released my studio downtown and the wife took over my old studio here. I haven't had a studio to use because man, I really love my studio work. I'm gonna have to swap her locations probably before long, and then I can set all my stream stuff up, all my computer stuff up, and my studio all in one room. And then maybe, just maybe, no promises, I'll do a live stream photo shoot. Maybe. Again, no promises. It's just it's a very tricky thing to do, and there are so many great resources on doing good photo shoots. I did one by one that I don't know how useful it would be, honestly, for the stream. We'll see. That, and it'd require a whole different setup, because I would have to actually I could probably do it with the GoPro, because it has autofocusing. This camera doesn't it does, but it's terrible, so I don't use it for video anyway. And you have to set up microphone differently. I don't know, we'll see. Lagatha, terrible name for a super cute dog. Exposure is a little high here again with the white dog. We're running 125 at 100. Probably should have been closer to 200. And it looks like we did actually kick it down, or kicked it up to 640, just to see if we could pull some better. The blacks are completely gone. See here with the whites, as long as you don't get, now see there we have blowout, so no information there. I wonder if that's all of them's that way. Because I did look at the histogram when I started shooting these after a few, because it tends to go crazy with the white on the dogs. And I didn't think it made it all the way over to blowing out, but it looks like some of it did. Yep. That's unfortunate. And it's my fault. That's super soft. That one's not even usable. But it happens. Thankfully, not very often. Eyes closed, not usable. That might make a face shot. That's a better face shot because it's really sharp. I don't know. We'll see what we can pull out of it. I mean, we'll have to live with whatever it is, but... out of that, yeah, it's still really bright, but nothing we can do about it now. And the situation's changed so much. I really try to stay on top of it. I've been doing it long enough. Sometimes I just get away from you. That one's sharp. Yeah, all we could get is her, him, her. Besides these couple straight ons sitting, just pretty shy and timid. Wasn't very well leash trained. And when you put a collar or a leash, something around a dog's neck that's not leash trained, they can go a little crazy. Oh, we did get these for body shots. Either that one's way soft. There we go. This one's unusable. I don't know what happened there. I missed it. So we'll use this one. Crop that down. Whites are still a little bright. Seems like I lost too much contrast. It's not bad. It's a little distracting. Background being like that. Face shot, body shot. And these are all going to be terrible because of how bright they are. We'll pull it in to some degree. Yeah, I pulled in a little bit, but Still not my greatest work for sure. Now we are on to Eli. First walked up to this kennel and my wife was right behind me and I said, Ellie. That's a heck of a name for a male dog. And she says it's Eli. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought Ellie. Now Gracie's doing it. It's not time to eat. No. And she's so damn cute when she does it. She comes up and she puts her head on my arm and just stares at me with the big, the big round puppy dog eyes. It's not time to eat. No. It's not time yet. You gotta wait. If she had her way, dinner would come an hour earlier every day and we'd just keep rotating around the clock. Heading out, be back later. All right, Red Eye. Thanks again for coming by. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Real cute. He had to be carried from the kennel because he was just too frightened. Do we have a straight on look? That one's soft. That one's not bad. I'm gonna try that one. Ooh, way bright. Again, because they've got a black coat. That's better. Face shot. These are the closest things we're going to get as a body shot. And we're going to paste those settings on there. Actually autoed out really nice on that one. A little bit of a different pose. So adorable. So damn adorable. Little bit bright. And that'll work. And there is our 3 for Eli. Noodles. Noodles was very energetic. Lots of energy. Loved people, loved being out of his kennel. Her kennel, should I say. And looks like another pit bull mix. Yep. A lot of those. That one's not usable. Not usable. And I've noticed there's quite a few drop frames, so I know you're getting a little bit of stuttering. What a beautiful, beautiful pose. But we want a good face shot. Oh, there we go. We might have found it. Yeah, because that's eyes closed. That's not usable. But this one is. So we'll paste those settings on there. Crop that down. Holy brightness, Batman. Alright, face shot. I have to do some work on that one. We can do that. Face shot, body shot. Do we have any other kind of shot, honestly? Another sitting shot from the other direction. And we'll try it out. Yep, I think that'll work. Straighten the picture out because we're shooting at an angle. And there's our 3 for noodles. Last, and this was different, I hadn't seen any with a red border on them before. Red usually means bad. This dog was not. This dog was really sweet. And very unique looking. Little short ears. And I don't think those are cropped either. She almost look like a fox. I don't even know if we got, that's probably the only thing we got. Closest thing is a face shot we got. Again, once they see that or hear that camera go off or see that flash, they're pretty much done looking at the camera. So I tried to kind of get those first, and not having the squeaker. Sometimes the squeaker will get them to look whether they like it or not. Yeah, that looks good. She had such a unique look to her. I say her. I honestly never know. This is a boy, male. Cope. That's a terrible shot. That one's not bad. Still, I hate this 1x1. Man, I wish they would change that. Because now I'm stuck at the top. I can't recenter the image the way I want. Awful lot of orange in there again. That looks pretty good. I'm dropping a lot of frames flipping through these lines. That face though. I say that's not usable. That just made me think of a marketing, like a marketing ad. Just because he looks a little sad. If his tongue wasn't, which, I mean, I could remove it, but that's the first thing I thought of when I seen it. Well, really don't have anything else to work with. Because the other ones are just duplicates. So it's either this one, which is terrible, or this one, which also isn't that great. Let's see what happens when we edit it down. This would be a lot easier if I had like a crew of people. Oh my gosh, would it be easier? And I could do much better pictures. Have somebody actually holding a softbox. Actually move location. Man, that would be awesome. Maybe someday. Alright. So there's all three. Means cope is now complete. Alright, so with that, we're going to take 5. I'm going to let the dogs out so that they can bug mom to use the restroom. I need to go back into all the stuff since we had all that lag out. I'm going to turn off the puppy cam for now because they're going to be leaving the room. But I'm going to step away for like 3 or 4 minutes. But I really appreciate you being here. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. But we'll be right back.
There's no other way. Talk about a long night trip. No, no, no. Don't ever wait. You kept traces of my past. Your frames are divided in my thoughts. Your love, dance so I can feel your lips. Oh no, no. Don't ever look away. You feel the
Alright, we're back. I ended up feeding them. Got them their food and water. So now it's time to edit. And this will probably hit the stream pretty hard when it's moving over between Lightroom and Photoshop. We shall see. Beautiful blue eyes. It's a shame that headshot looks so... And as always, we kind of hack at this and see how it goes. And if it goes alright, we run with it. These all go out low res, so they don't have to be perfect. You never notice the difference. And I'm gonna have to do some work on that. And let's see, shadows 24%. Probably need to go for mid-tones. Brighten those eyes up a little bit. And now to figure this out. And again, they're just trying to create the illusion of everything working here. Time it's rezzed out. Actually, I don't even like that whole hump on there. We're just going to get rid of the whole thing. By the time you get it down to low res, you'd never notice. Of course, we'd be doing this significantly differently if it was for print. That works for that one. So now we're going to upgrade the rating on that and move on to the next one. Alright, same deal here. a big stab at it. Oh, my memory is chewed up for some reason. I wonder what's chewing it up. See, this thing's got all kinds of RAM. Chrome is using a big chunk. Kill that. It's mostly just chrome. Let me check that again. Okay, should be better now. I need to check those Chrome settings, because I know that thing can get a bit out of hand with its caching. That's how they make Chrome fast. They cache everything, and your memory pays for it. Don't like that spot. I'm not real sure what I'm gonna do about it though. I don't really have the same hair anywhere to work with. No, that's better. So we'll run with that. Fix a couple of these spots. Lighten the eyes up a little bit and we'll sharpen it up. And call that good. And we'll have one more. I really like the lighting on this one. Very nice. I really like this shot. Tones. I like it. On to bubbles. And this is the one we had this nasty hose in the background. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. was afraid that would be a little crazy. I mean, it is kind of what the fur does, but sometimes you just gotta work it. Get what you want out of it. Don't like how that fur is laying right there. Don't like how dark it is either. But I think we're just kind of stuck with it without a bunch of crazy editing. I don't want to copy fur patterns and all that. I think I'll just leave it. I am going to try something crazy though. We're going to try pulling this whole hose out of here. And if I had to guess, because of everything going on, this is going to do terribly. But we won't know if we don't try, right? Ooh, my goodness. Yeah, that, that was not good at all. Well, I can try this, but I don't think it'll work. Let's just say I don't have good feelings about it. Too many different angles going on. It's a good thought though, but without doing a bunch of warps and everything, it's not gonna work. More time than it needs invested into this anyway. But we are gonna clean up some of this stuff on the ground. Can we get rid of that without pulling the dog into it? Nope. Oh, we'll just run with that. Sharpen these eyes up a little bit and dodge them a bit. And all done. This one we'll have to sharpen up quite a bit. And not sure how that got switched. better. And then sharpen it up a bit. Lighten those eyes up. And there we go. Now for the body shot. Pull the eyes up a little bit. Really? Pulled the dog's tongue all the way up there. For whatever reason. Gotta do this differently. That works. On to the next. You know, actually, I need to check my encoding settings since they upgraded OBS. Some of that might have gotten changed or something. They're going outside finally, and excited about it. Oops, wrong tool. Look how stocky she is. Holy cow. Pull the eyes out a bit. And let me reset that opacity or that'll drive me nuts later when I'd forget that I had done it. She was so much fun. She's a good puppy. Super excited. It's a little, there we go. See, that looks a little awkward. And the face shot. This is the one that was a little soft. We had to, no, it wasn't either. It was, I think it was the last dog. One of those was really soft because we had to crop really hard. Well, her fur is almost the same color that leash was, so that works in our favor. Clean up the little spots here. And we'll brighten those eyes up. Looks like we're going to sharpen it up a little as well. And then we have that. Beautiful. Texana. Face shot. I need to archive off some photos. I noticed the other day my backup drive's almost full. I archive stuff off month by month onto CD. And I'm overdue for that. That didn't take much. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like cheating with that tool, I tell you, sometimes. It does such a good job. I really like this picture. I like the light and the setting with her color. It's beautiful, I think. One more. She's got grass all over her. the slobber. We'll brighten this eye a little bit. The other one's pretty bright. Looking good. That was Texana. Milton. Sharpen that face up just a little bit. And then pop that eye a little. And good. Body shot. Had to think about that one a minute. That'll work. Fix some of these spots where we took the leash out. Sharpen the eyes up a little bit and highlight them a little more. Can't do much there. Looks good. Kind of a upper body shot. They're in there getting hollered at. Oh, come on now. Why being so difficult? There we go. Like it. That was Milton. This is Venus. We weren't going to be able to do much with that eye because it was almost shut. Sharpen it up a little bit. We'll try to pull it out a little, but I don't think there's really much we can do with it. Not really. Just got a little catch light on there. That helps quite a bit. Some more wonderful stream stuttering. If I did more of this, I would seriously consider getting that streaming PC, but we do this once a week and we don't have a really big audience for it. So it doesn't really make sense for now. But if you guys help me spread the word and we get more people around interested in this and whatnot, then maybe it's an investment we'll look at. In all fairness, it has been a while since I streamed it because of vacation and everything that came up. But couldn't do a whole lot about that. It's really soft and over sharpened, but when it's that big, you never know. That's better. That's better. Oh, yeah, that'll be alright. So I got this little fur ring down here, but since I already pulled it out of Photoshop, I'd have to completely redo the whole picture. And I think it'll be alright. Lagatha. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Terrible any way you cut it, in my opinion. Actually, it's probably good we got blowout because she had a sore right here that was healing. You'd probably be able to see it in the body shot. I don't think we need to do much with those eyes, as bright as that whole picture is. Yeah, there you can kind of see the sore spot. And I don't know how this is going to pan out, but we're going to try it first. Panned out poorly. fix it. And pull the eyes up a bit on that one. That'll work. So much darker compared to the other ones. Survey says not bad. I'm not real sure what that is or what happened there, but we'll run with it. And that is all for Lagatha. Now we've got Eli. Super cute. Eyes aren't too bad. This, oh, there it goes. Man, I don't know, the computer's doing something really crazy. And I'm a bit baffled why Chrome is using a gig of RAM as well. Or just in general, why my computer's eating so much memory. I'm gonna have to run some memory tests on it, make sure I don't have something going wrong. This is probably gonna be ugly. Too many textures close together. Well, we might be able to fudge it a bit. Sold. That one's heading too heavy crop, but if you would have looked, you would have been able to see me in the reflection. Might be able to find another one like that. I remember a long time ago doing a picture of a car at a car show, and the gloss coat on it was so damn glossy you could clearly see me in the picture. So I put text on it. It says I see myself in this car. It was a, I don't know, some hot rod vet or something. I know, not very funny, but it was for me at the time. Adorable. Yeah, that was Eli. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I didn't edit that rating. Now we have Noodles. She was really sweet. It hadn't been that long since she had pups. Which I half the time don't wonder why that some of these dogs end up there. People keep them, they have puppies, and then they bring them into shelter afterwards and keep the puppies. I don't know. Maybe not, but it seems like we get an awful lot of dogs that weren't pregnant that long ago at the shelter. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. This is gonna be a mess. Actually, not too bad. I'll work with that. Don't like that. This isn't that great. There's a lot going on right here. Too much for a quick edit, honestly. All that nasty patterning. I'm still not a big fan. This should be fun. I just noticed, Kibble, you messaged me over Battle.net. Are you in the stream or no? Ooh, that's kind of ugly. Do-overs. Why is it so hard to get rid of that? What's going on here? Sorry. looks pretty good. I mean, this isn't that great, but if you didn't know it, you wouldn't know it. You know what I mean? So we'll keep that. I don't know I can do much with that. It's pretty brutal here. Actually, that's not too bad. Sharpen that up a little bit. Beautiful. All right. We have one more. Nice sitting shot. That heal tool saves so much damn time. It's not even funny. Oops. It's a wonderful tool. Especially for stuff like this. It's not super critical. Does a great job. And one more. Cope. Really unique looking gal here. And really sweet too. I know we got eyes closed on this one, but we didn't have much else to use, so this is what we're gonna use. Question is, am I gonna be able to get her leg out of here successfully? Well, about as successful as it's gonna get. Not bad. No eye eyes to sharpen up or brighten up in that one. So I got a little slobber here and there on that one. A couple little eye boogers. Beautiful. And the body shot. Not bad. Although I don't like that particularly. Whoop. Not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. And that's all three of Cope. Fix that rating. All right, and that does it all for this week. Again, if you've been here this whole time, thank you so much for being here. Every Sunday, starting at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do this. I say every Sunday. Sometimes stuff comes up and we can't do it. But make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't. And I usually put live updates there if something's gone awry or something's not going to happen, or if something else comes up. Make sure you follow me over there. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for hanging out. We will be streaming a little later on if you're interested in the whole game scene. So if you are, it'll be, let's see, probably about an hour or so, hour and a half. We'll start that up. You can check us out then. If not, make sure you come and see us next Sunday. Bring a friend along. We really do appreciate it. But until then, stay beautiful. We'll see you guys next time.